Hi, my name is Hat here. What is going on, beautiful people of the internet? I know we're pretty late. We're going to do this in one take, so if I miss anything, it's whatever. You guys have more than likely seen ShadyPenguinn side. But we are battling the New York Yankees. This is week 9, maybe? 8? I don't know. It happened a while ago. If anyone saw my old video or my last GBA battle or follows me on Twitter or anything like that, you'll know that I've been moving. For the last couple days, I moved all the way from Wisconsin down to North Carolina for grad school, so it's been packing and moving and then traveling and then setting everything up and getting everything ready for school, so I haven't had a lot of free time. That's why these matches are coming out kind of late, so big on there. But looking at the team, knew that this was going to be a very hard battle as soon as I saw Vaporeon. Vaporeon really shuts my team down once Thundurus is down, and I also have a pretty big issue with this Golbat, and that Golbat Vaporeon Wall Core is pretty difficult to take down, especially if he doesn't Mega Evolve his Manectric, because it makes me very leery to using Electric type moves to give him that. But after we had an initial mix-up where Shady only brought 5 guys right before we even got to our first move, and then we had a DC after the very first move. This is game 3, so nothing really changed in that DC. It was 1 move in, so we did the same thing. And I expected him to switch, but I didn't expect him to switch into Manectric right away, or Mamoswine. I wasn't really sure what I was expecting, but I was trying to catch something else with a Thunder Wave. And so he gets that, which is nice. And this is a little prediction game. I had nothing to just blatantly switch in to a +1 Manectric, so I figured I'm just going to let Clefable die. I went for predicting, which wasn't a bad play on his part, because me switching out to try to save this would have been viable, especially because he knows how much I like using Clefable and how valuable Clefable is to me. But I figure, well, I'm going to take a risk here. I'm going to softball. Maybe he overpredicts again, and if anything, force a hand then, we make him overpredict again. So maybe going for another would have been the better idea, just to get even more damage on. But I don't think in the long run that really affected too much. But this time he has to take the risk and just go for the flame or the Thunderbolt to take me out. And Clefable goes down. It sucks doing that, but it is what it is. And I realized here in my haste, and again, this is nothing against Shady, but because moving, I had a lot of time to game plan. I only had about 10 minutes, and like Shady played this game phenomenally. So don't. But I didn't realize I had 2 specially, and it turns out I have 2. And I was just looking at the natures. This Hippowdon had no Earthquake, no Stealth Rock on it or anything like that. I had LA Nidokings. And as soon as I switched it and saw the moveset, I was just like, I am screwed. Because I was expecting to come in and be able to Earthquake or Stone Edge something, and I had no options like that at all. I have to. At this point, I figured something was either going to eat a Toxic, something might have eaten a Super Fang, something like that. But I knew I had to get rid of part of this this Golbat Vaporeon Wall Core. And it's unfortunate because I much rather would have gotten rid of Vaporeon over Golbat, but I didn't have a lot of options, especially once I saw that Hippowdon. And so I'm going to go for the knockoff to see what maybe he'll switch into his Mamoswine. Knockoff, worst case scenario, I go down. At least I don't have to deal with a Eevee-like Golbat. I just have to deal with a regular Golbat. But this Thundurus is a very special Thundurus in the sense too, where it is a physical Thundurus. Mainly, this was one, or a variant of one I was going to bring against Gobstacular, and I did bring against Gobstacular, but it did not work because his Gastrodon ruined my day with the Eevee spread he had, knowing that he would be able to take a hit and I would not be able to take a hit. So I knew at this point nobody had seen physical Thundurus, so I figured I'd run it. Like I said, I didn't have a lot of time to game plan, so I was like, screw it, we'll just bring it. I know Shady's going to have to defog because not defogging last time kind of hurt him. So maybe I can get that +1 Defiant boost, and you know, I can start coming in with +1 Wild Charges, Superpowers, and knockoffs. That was kind of the game plan. But I'm just going to Hippowdon, and I figure I'm going to just start yawning stuff out. I'm going to just, you know, status some stuff, and kind of death fodder at this point, because I really didn't have much to do. Mamoswine is always such a huge issue for my team, just based on it being a Sand team. But I go for the yawn, just so at least if he wants to stay in and kill Hippowdon, it's at a cost to himself that he goes to sleep. And I'm betting that he doesn't really want to go to sleep with his Mamoswine because of how important it actually is to him. So I figured I'm going to yawn because Ice Fang and Thunder Fang aren't doing jack to him. Especially Thunder Fang won't do anything, and Ice Fang is going to be incredibly resisted. I could have maybe predicted that and gone for a Thunder Fang there, but or did I die maybe? I don't know. Sony Vegas is lagging out on me. But I'm going to Mega Evolve, and this is just your standard Dragon Dance Roost to attack Charizard. And I didn't have really time to play games with this. I kind of wanted to D-Dance because I knew that'd be better in the long run. But with Sandstorm going away and I not having rocks up, I knew that it wasn't worth a D-Dance because he's going to have the Sash. And why let him get 2 hits off on me when instead I can just let him get 1 if that's the case, what he wanted to do. So I'm going to go back and hip out just to get the sand. Oh, I know it. I went into Charizard and he's just going to go for the Waterfall and kill me off. And unfortunately, he lives at just enough where he can get off 1 more attack, I believe. Because I believe it brought him down just to a sliver of HP. Yup, there we go. So that kind of didn't work. I know he'll at least die to now Rough Skin or to Sand at this time. And I figure late game rocks are better than no rocks at all, especially because I knew he was dying no matter what. This is one of my different, I have a couple different variations, but this is one of my physically defensive Garchomps. And I just take that hit like it wasn't an issue at all, and I get the free rocks. So that was really good. You know, you can't complain. It'll help break Mammo's Sash, and it might add a little more residual damage and chip damage to stuff switching in and out, and he won't be as versed, I think, to switch stuff in and out. But he's going to go into Noivern, and I was like, well, this is game right here. I knew that even though I was bulky and that I had the special defense boost from the Sand, I was like, he's probably, I don't know if he got a low damage roll, I don't know if he got max. Maybe Garchomp is just that lackadaisical, not even lackadaisical, just kind of melancholic about this game. Going just to make the smart and safe play. He knew his Sash was going to be gone regardless, but he has the Ice Shard. And at this point, there is no reason for me to save Garchomp at 3 HP and take unnecessary damage on my Feraligatr or my Charizard X. I have a full health. The issue here is I have 2 water moves and an ice move in Dragon Dance, and I cannot touch Vaporeon, and I can't just switch in Charizard to it. And so this basically becomes a game of Toxic Stall me death. And as you can see by the time we have left in the video, this is a long portion of Toxic Stalling. So it's pretty self-explanatory. I basically had to fish for the 10% free. I had to get the most out of being Toxic Stalled out with something that has like Roost or full recovery. But I haven't looked at that since 4th gen, and it wasn't worth it because I knew I had to get a crit to kill the Vaporeon, and I still had to be at enough health to survive Ice Shard, which I think did around 25%, and then I also had to be able to survive Mega Manectric, depending on how many Dragon Dances I got up for speed. So instead of sitting here and going over GBA season, the rest of the battle magnitude will be up hopefully in the next couple days. Hopefully GBA next Sunday comes up, because I know I'm already late on that. Steve and I actually, which is Monday. Because again, with me moving, I was gone from basically Saturday till Thursday, and Steve knew that he was going to be gone this weekend and didn't get home till Sunday night. It's just one of those things where everything, it seemed, in the GBA was super screwy this year, or this week, with people matches just not lining up with everyone's schedules because it is starting to the end of summer. So that'll be up shortly. I believe Numb Nexus and the Cleveland Escavaliers next week. I could be wrong, but I believe that's what we do. And then I believe after that is Kote and the Maple Leafeons, which is a full-out rain team. So that'll be a throwback to 5th gen, a generation that both of us hated in terms of competitive. And me being Sand and him being Rain, that's not going to be a very fun match for me. I'm going to have to come up with some crazy stuff for that. But Thunders hopefully can be able to do some work there. And then I believe we finish off the season playing the Milwaukee Saucebooks one more time. And so a good rivalry to start off, or to end the season, and it'll most likely be a game that decides a playoff spot if things keep up how they're going in the Kanto Conference. Right now, as of recording this, everybody is still in it. Everyone in the Johto, the top 3 in the Johto Conference have clinched, meaning that they are guaranteed their playoff spots, I think. But in the conference that we're in, I believe all of us are still up for grabs at those playoff spots, which is going to be really difficult. But one thing I do want to address too, I keep seeing it in videos, and don't get me wrong, this isn't me coming off complaining or anything like that or being angry about it, but to set the record straight, I take a long time in between my turns because I think, not because I'm damage calcing. And I know I'm only preaching to probably 3 people who won't watch my video and have their reply turned off on YouTube, and you know exactly who you are. But I like, especially these GBA games, I like to think, because these aren't conventional sets. These are very talented players I'm playing against, and there's no need for me to rush into things. So I don't sit here and damage calc in the middle of game. I'll damage calc before and after games to see stuff, get ideas for stuff, but I will not be I don't damage calc in games. And I know it's a nitpick, it's annoying. I'm feeding the trolls right now and getting the reaction that they're probably hoping for to some extent. But I just want to get that out there that, you know, it's not that I'm damage calcing. I take long times in between my turns because I like to think of my options. I like to see what am I going to do, because I don't like to play obvious, I don't like to play predictable, and I know everyone that I'm playing against is a smart, are exactly what they are, trolls. So we're going to let this go up. If you guys have questions for me, GBA related, about my teams, anything like that, drop them down in the comments. Follow or ask on Twitter, anything like that. I'll be happy to answer them. If you want to know, why I did certain moves, why I ran certain sets, stuff like that. Why I drafted stuff specifically, I'm happy to answer that kind of stuff. A big thanks to John, aka Pokemon, for recording this battle for me. I always appreciate it, seeing that I don't have a capture board. That the fact that he takes time out of his day and uses his computer's processor and all that to grab these videos for me. It's a very appreciated, and again, good game, Shady. I know you all know who ShadyPenguinn is. Like I said, if you don't know who ShadyPenguinn is, but you know who I am, say something in the comments, because I don't believe you. Shady just is blown up. He's a great guy. Puts out a ton of really good content that's not always Pokemon related. So make sure to check out his channel. Watch either this GBA battle from his side, because you get a live comm from his side to see how this 2-0 loss. I believe that puts us at even, or maybe one above. See, it's been so long, I don't even remember. This is like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I've had the other matches since then. Just haven't gotten recorded yet. But it is what it is for what it sounds like. So, or what it is right. Yeah, can't even talk now. I'm losing my train of thought. But from what I've seen so far, I really like North Carolina. If anyone else is in North Carolina, hit me up. Even if you're not in the close vicinity, I'd always love to know more about the state that I'm now currently living in and completely foreign to. Struggle these next 2 years, but I think we'll make do. I think we will make do. You guys are probably sick of me rambling, but it only looks like we got 30 seconds or so left. I could have sped this up, but again, I'm kind of a lazy bastard, and I haven't taken the time to really learn Vegas all that much. I'll get around to it for next season, I bet, to be able to speed that stuff up. But if you enjoyed, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Go check out my opponent. Go check